Hi, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of our educational series for our Touchtown. My name is Blake Shepard. I'm the fitness director here at Cambridge Village, and we're excited to continue to educate and bring more knowledge to some very hot topics that we get questions about all the time. Today, the number one topic we get questions about is balance. So many residents, when they first move into Cambridge Village, they sit down one-on-one with me and Emily Moss, and we talk through kind of things they want to work on. What things over the last 4, 5, 10 years have you felt the need to kind of focus a little bit more time and energy on? Or maybe you're just realizing that over the past couple years, it's just gotten a little bit more challenging, and it's balance. Now, balance is related to so many different aspects when it comes to exercise and your overall ability to function as a human being. Your balance is related to your strength throughout your body, your mobility throughout your body, but also your overall coordination. Things like posture, joint mobility and joint stability, overall footwork, and different things that happen throughout your life can really make a difference. And so today we're going to spend about 5 to 10 minutes really grazing through some specific aspects that can help you be better with balance. So the first thing I want to talk about is going to be speaking about a relationship between joint mobility and joint stability. And we want to take this kind of joint by joint approach to really understand how this can affect your balance. Now, I want you to envision a skeleton. And first off, the ankle. The ankle is very mobile. It can point and flex. It can supinate and pronate. You can come up and down on your toes. You can go side to side with your ankle. So it's a very mobile joint. Now, leading up the leg, what's the next joint? That's the knees. Now, when it comes to the knees do bend and they are mobile, but they are really specific on stabilizing. So in order for them to stabilize, we need the ankle to be mobile. Let's move up. Next one up is our hips. Now our hips are also very mobile. They can rotate, you can lift and kick, you can bring your leg to the side, you can bring your leg in the front, so your hips are very mobile. And now let's look at the next joint up, which is our spine. Our spine is a little bit of both, but its main role is to stabilize the trunk. We can mobilize and go forward and backwards, side to side. We can rotate, but its main role is to stabilize. And we're going to talk about how the core can really be a vital aspect into your overall balance. The next joint up is our shoulders, a very mobile joint. Okay, we've got a ball and socket joint where we can move our arms through a large range of motion. And the last joint being our spine again, but more into the cervical spine. Now I want to take you back and really look at, do you notice how an ankle, mobile, knee, stability, hips, mobile, trunk, stable, shoulders, mobile, so it's going alternating. So the reason why I wanted to let you know about this is, lowest to the ground, we've got our ankles that need to be very mobile. And at the moment that they are not mobile, when a joint does not function properly, the joint closest to it will have to compensate, and its overall job will eventually become jeopardized. So we want to look more into the relationship between our movements. So they play an integral role in our overall body mechanics. Not only can limitations within each joint affect how that specific joint functions, but also how joints above and below work as well. So when a mobile joint becomes immobile, like the ankle, it can cause a stability joint, like the knee, to become unstable. So let's kind of jump ahead a little bit. When we're working with balance, balance is the ability to distribute your weight in one way that lets you stand or move without falling, or maybe just recovering if you happen to get tripped up. Good balance requires the coordination of several body parts to interact at the same time. It is important to stretch muscles and joints daily to improve overall mobility that directly relates to your balance. So let's start off by our upper body. I'm going to run through these pretty quick. One of the best things that you can do for mobilizing the upper body is just some general shoulder rolls. All right, by rotating the shoulders up, back, and down, we can really get some movements to keep those shoulder blades mobile. If our shoulders tend to become immobile, you may not be able to lift your arms or move your upper torso. And so that's going to immediately affect your posture. Now your center of balance is leaning forward because of the weight of your head, and that is going to throw off your balance. Now, when we think about the ankle is really step one. Whenever we're working with somebody to improve their balance, we want to try to work with their ankle mobility first. And that can start as simple as sitting in a chair. Let me demonstrate. Seated in a chair, lifting your legs up and point and flex and point and flex, as simple as that. We can work through some ankle mobility just like that. We can also position ourselves at a wall and we push against the wall and we stretch out the ankles. This is a very familiar stretch that most people are aware of. Typically, before they go for a walk, or maybe, just trying to stretch out that calf cramp that keeps happening. So we kind of stretch and we push against the wall with our front knee bent and our back leg straight. That's going to help the ankle in making sure that we're maintaining its range of motion. By doing that, that allows our knee to help stabilize our leg and keeps us more steady on our feet. But when the knee comes along, sometimes we have injuries to the knee or a surgery, and over years we have trouble bending the knee. So we also want to do exercises to help bend the knee. Now, sometimes these are better to do laying down on your back, but if you can, walking knee grabs is a great mobility and practice for balance. We do these in all of our classes, as a lot of you are familiar with. Then it becomes apparent for the hips. Now I'm going to step back so that you can see me behind this chair over here. And when it comes to the hips, we want to try to position ourselves so that we are extending our back leg and really opening up the side and the back side of our hip. So just helping create some extra range of motion in the hip will give you a little bit more stability in the knees and also stability along the spine. So always think about this joint by joint approach when focusing on how to get better at balance. Now, as we jump ahead, let's talk a little bit more about your posture. Over the years, it's very common that your posture tends to start to round forward. And when that happens, the weight of your head is moving the center of gravity or center of balance in the front of your body. A lot of falls can happen like this because your weight is over your toes. So if you happen to get tripped up, you come down very quickly. So it's important to work on your posture. And your posture is a balance of strength and flexibility. We want to strengthen the muscles in the back of our body, typically doing pulling exercises with elastic bands or maybe some weights. We can also use something like an elastic band and go more on a horizontal plane. As we pull the band apart, we're squeezing the shoulder blades back, and that's going to help increase some strength along our backside to really focus on our postural muscles. We can do this seated or standing, and you can go as light as a small resistance or your body weight to pull and squeeze those back. Other little tools that we use in classes that I would love for you to come down and I can educate you more about We have different tools such as a foam pad. And now this foam pad is going to challenge your balance. And a lot of times we'll position you by a chair or by a bar, and we'll ask you to start off by marching on that foam pad. Now what that's going to do, it's going to challenge the stability in your ankle, which helps strengthen those muscles around your ankle. Just something like this. Now a lot of times people have trouble balancing on one foot. And now when we think of balance, balance is not all about standing on one foot. A lot of times balance is dynamic, and we want to be able to move side to side to create good balance, or side to side like this. We can also use something like a block. And now a block can be positioned on the floor, and now we are trying to tap the block by lifting the foot just like this. It is ever so common that I find whenever I challenge one of my classmates to do a skill like tapping, immediately they see improvement with their single leg balance. It's as easy as that. Balance is one of those things that you cannot practice once a week. Balance training happens daily, a couple times a day. You're always working on your balance just by walking around the community. I want you to think about different ways that you can practice balance, and realize that whenever we are teaching a class, whether it has the name balance or strength, everything is related to balance. Your strength, your mobility, your ability to coordinate your body, your ability to step in a multi-directional pattern, being able to step backwards, to the side, forwards, and shifting back. That's a dynamic balance movement. Your feet are coming in front of you, behind you, a box step. Okay? All of these things will help increase your ability to balance. If you have any other questions, please come down to the fitness center. My name is Blake Shepard. It's been a pleasure. We're going to continue this educational series with more and more seminars. I wish that we could be in person and we could show all these beautiful presentations that we've collected through the years. But for now, I'm happy to tune in on your TV channel. I wish you the best, and I'll see you soon.